Sink into the floor.
No.
Come on, lady.
No.
Sink into the floor.
No.
Give up. This movie was written and directed by Jordan Peele, the guy that plays Barack Obama and makes fun of like a bunch of stuff. Now I was a little bit nervous because obviously he's a comedian and this is a horror film, but I was completely wrong. And I am glad that he made this type of horror because this is what the horror genre needed. This movie is about Chris, this black guy who's dating Rose, a white girl, and then they go visit her family at their estate. So obviously if you watch the trailer of this movie, you can tell that like Rose's family are kind of like interested in black people. You have like the two workers there and like it's a little bit like weird and like creepy on how they are treated and how they behave back to the family. Now, usually I talk about movie storyline and what it was about, but this one is kind of hard because any detail that I'll give you about the movie outside of the trailer stuff would be a spoiler because just a hint of a detail of the story would give away a lot in the movie because this movie makes you think up to the very end. But one thing I do want to point out is the cast. They were freaking fantastic. Daniel Kaluuya and Allison Williams were freaking phenomenal in this movie. I really liked them as a couple. And also we have Chris's TSA friend whose name I kind of forgot. But he is so funny in this one, and of course with Jordan Peele being a comedian, he needed to have that comedic relief in this movie. And I thought it was great because it didn't ruin any of the suspenseful moment. So I thought that was a great integration into this movie, which kind of like helped progress the story even better. Now Get Out is labeled as a horror genre movie. And I don't know, in a way it kind of feels different for me because usually in a horror movie you'll have like a demon or you'll have like a ghost or you have something kind of like haunting you or like a serial killer coming at you. But this movie feels so far different from that because this movie targets a group of people who are targeting a group of people for who knows what reasons that I just can't give away in this movie because I would just spoil the movie. They do it so well because they make it seem like they are the monster in this case or like the ghost, because it kind of feels like a real life story. Like this shit could actually happen in real life. Like something like that crazy that happened in this movie, I feel like could come to life sometime, or maybe it happened in real life. Who knows? Jordan Peele in an interview said that he wanted to write and direct something that he has never seen on the big screen. And let me tell you, I have never seen something like this on the screen at all. He said that he wanted people to scream at the screen because of racial tensions and the racial stereotypes and the racial slurs, which by the way, he delivers great in this movie because from the beginning of the movie, you can tell something is off-putting. The movie did start off slow for me, like really slow, but with the progression of the characters and learning more about them, the movie starts to pick up and gets better and better by the end. Now, this movie was a horror, but to me, it felt more like a horror comedy because a lot of it wasn't more like a, hey, I'm gonna scare you, or like, here's jump scares, or here's like a suspenseful moment that leads to nothing. But it feels like it relies more on the characters and what they're portraying and what they're telling. And that's what I love about this movie because a lot of it is more character centralized, and I like that a lot. Having the characters portray that horror gives such a creepiness to this movie, and especially with the way that you chose the sound, I think that added so much more to it. And I really like that sound effect that they were using, which is just super simple but really creepy at the same time. Especially with Jordan Peele being the first time director, I think he did phenomenal. I think he did a phenomenal job. I mean, I think this movie looked beautiful from beginning to end. All the shots were great. I don't think I could be nitpicky about anything, especially for my first time director. I thought it was amazing. Now, my favorite parts of the movies comes when the hypnotizing scenes come on, and I think that those were done pretty well, and I really enjoyed watching those. The ending especially is something awesome to watch, and I was at the edge of my seat the whole time watching it because I just didn't know how this movie was going to end or what to expect, because there is a twist here and there that's thrown at you, and then so many revelations going on that you just didn't know what to think of it, and also you didn't know how it was going to end or what was going to happen, because they do tackle the backstory of, you know, why they're doing that or why they're like that. And I just wish they would have like explained a little bit more about that, because I kind of like feel like I needed more information on that situation. Now, I know I'm being very vague about the story, and that's because I just don't want to give anything away. So guys, this was Jordan Peele's first movie. I think he did phenomenal. I think the cast was great. I think just the whole entirety of this movie was awesome to watch. The beginning of the movie did start off really slow for me. There were some things that I wish I would have known a little bit more, but overall I left this movie thinking it was amazing, and I can't wait to see what Jordan Peele does next. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I definitely recommend this movie to anybody because this is so different from any other horror genre movie that I've seen. You might not like this movie if you were going in there expecting to get like super scared or anything like that. So guys, leave any comments down below if you guys have watched the movie, or what are your thoughts. Also, what kind of movie do you think Jordan Peele should direct next? Because honestly, like, if this is the way he's going to be directing his movies, I think he's going to have a great future in directing. But as always guys, make sure to share and give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you like my content, and as always guys, stay tuned.